Welcome to the best picks and stats and matchups for the Week 12 of the college football season. God, it's already the second to last week of the season, guys. This is absolutely insane. For the year, my money line win-loss record is actually doing really well. 68%. I had a really good week again last week. Only lost two losses, I think, for Penn State, and I forget the other one, but 8-2. Bad week on the spread. 46-50, below 500. But I mean, who really cares? Let's get to the matchups, guys. Number 10, out in the Mountain West, the winner of the UNLV Air Force game. Whoever wins this clinches a spot in the Mountain West Championship game. Both teams come into this as 8-2. Neither are ranked, but both are top 50 in the power rankings, so that's pretty good for Mountain West teams out in this late in the season. Overall, Air Force is a 3-point favorite. I'm going to go with Air Force in the money line. At the same time, I'm going to go with UNLV to cover the 3-point spread. This is not hedging my bets. But UNLV I think is 9-1 against the spread this entire year, so they're doing really well. And I think UNLV will cover. I think Air Force ultimately will win. They're a better team, I think, overall. Could be wrong. Like I said, whoever wins this clinches at least a share of the regular season Mountain West Championship. Another Group of 5 matchup that I think will clinch, or at least have a shot of clinching a spot in the American title game. SMU at Memphis. Both are 8-2. Memphis is 45 in power ratings. SMU is 38th. SMU is they're both pretty good in offense. SMU is a little bit better in defense. SMU is an 8.5-point favorite in this one. They're 15-6 on the road as a road favorite. Memphis has only been a home underdog 7 times in the last 5 years. I think ultimately SMU will win this game, and they will cover the 8.5-point spread, and they will clinch their spot in the American Championship game going into the last week of the season. Number 8, USC and UCLA. Two teams that are just... a month ago, these two teams look like they're doing pretty decent. Right now, USC is not looking good. They're going in the wrong direction fast. They lost all 4 of their Tier 1 games. While UCLA, they benched their quarterback. All rumors say that Chip Kelly will probably be fired by the end of the season. Not good for either of these two teams. I think, ultimately, USC is a 6.5-point favorite, and they will win the game. But at the same time, I think UCLA will cover. I think they're 2-7-1 overall against the spread. UCLA is not much better, but I think USC will just not cover the spread. They will win the game though, and who knows what the future holds. I mean, this is USC's last regular season game. They don't even play in the last week. Won't make the Pac-12 title game, so who knows what happens for either of these two teams. We'll just have to see. Number 7 in the Big 12, Texas at Iowa State. Texas is only a 7.5-point favorite. In Ames, I do believe Quinn Ewers is actually coming back for this game from his long injury stint. This is a tough one. Iowa State looked like they were going to repeat what they did the last 2 years, the start of the season, but they've gone on a decent streak this last month. I think they won 4 or 5 and are in second place in the Big 12 championship, and still have an actual chance of making the Big 12 championship game. That would require them to obviously win this game, though. I don't think they will. I think Texas is just... They're eons ahead of Iowa State, although I think Iowa State will cover the 7.5-point spread just because they're going to play them tough. They have one of the best defenses in the Big 12, if not the whole country. Iowa State does. Texas just says, I think, will have a little bit more power and actually get them to the win. And Texas moved to 10-1. And I forget who they played last week of the season, but they'll clinch the spot in the Big 12 championship game if they win this one. Number 6 in the ACC, 9-1 Louisville, a top 10 team in the CFP. It's actually a road underdog at Miami, 6-4 unranked, 1.5-point underdog. Louisville is. If they win this, they will clinch a spot in the ACC championship game. I think Florida State has already clinched their spot, so even whatever happens with them does not matter. But I think Louisville is I think they've been a decent team. Of all the one-loss teams, I think they might be the weakest. I see Louisville winning this game, and obviously covering the 1.5-point spread, underdog spread. Louisville's 9-1. They have a pretty decent win over Notre Dame. They have 2 Tier 2 wins as well. Louisville's a good team, and I think they march on, go to 10-1. And maybe it's just me wanting them to win, so the ACC title game could be a good matchup, but I just feel like Louisville will be the better team. All the analytics say they will win, and they will cover. Number 5, staying in the ACC, North Carolina is 8-2, Clemson 6-4. Clemson's not ranked, but they are still a home favorite at 6.5 points. UNC is I don't know what they make of them this year. I just don't think they've performed as up to expectations. Obviously, they lost those 2 games in a row a few weeks ago, and Clemson obviously has just been atrocious this season, especially on offense. But they had that good win a couple weeks ago against Notre Dame. They're 36-1. since 2018 as a home favorite. So this one, Clemson is going to win this. They're going to cover, and I think UNC is going to go right back to the stellar, just like they were last year, not finishing up great at all in the season. Clemson is going to go to 7-4, and again, this is a mid-tier ACC matchup, so not much else to say about this one. Number 4, the Big 12 matchup, Kansas versus Kansas State. Kansas State is a road underdog, a road favorite at 7.5 points only, and Kansas, they were an underdog last week against Iowa State and pulled off that one. Or no, they lost last week. I forget who they played. And 7-3, still ranked in the top 25 with the CFP. Kansas State 7-3, ranked 21st. Who knows what Kansas State's going to go on another late season run to get to the Big 12 championship game and do what they did last year. But I don't think this is the same Kansas State team. I still think they will win this game though. Kansas will cover though. 7.5 points. I think that's a touchdown. How good Kansas has been playing, how good they've been against the spread this year. I think Kansas will cover. Kansas State will ultimately win the game though. Number 3, Utah against Arizona. Arizona come out of nowhere to just be a 7-3 Pac-12. I think they're in tied for third now in the Pac-12. All 3 losses been in conference, but this is remarkable that this late in the season, the 11th game that Arizona plays, they're a favorite against the 2-time defending Pac-12 champion. That is remarkable. That's something I never thought I would say at all in the 2023 season. 8-4 is a home favorite since 2018. Utah's only been a road underdog 7 times in 5 years. They obviously hold the advantage, but I think Arizona is going to win this. It's basically a pick 'em at one point, but Arizona, I just have the feeling that they're going to win. The analytics show with the spread as well that they've just been playing well when they need to play well. They have a top tier 1 win. So does Utah, but I don't know. I just feel like Arizona's going to win this. They're going to march on to 8-3 and have their best record since, I do believe, 2014 when they made a New Year's Six bowl game. Number 2, Georgia against Tennessee. Preseason, this is supposed to be one of the biggest matchups of the entire season. There's before Tennessee went on to lose against Florida, and then Alabama, and then against Missouri. So this game has lost a lot of its luster. Even though Tennessee's still ranked at 18th, I think they're a little overrated at 7-3. They haven't beaten a really good team. They have tier 2 wins, but I just don't see them as that good of a team. Their offense is pretty decent, yes, and their defense is pretty decent, yes, and their strength of schedule has been pretty decent at 25th, yes. But Georgia's going to win this. Tennessee, I think, will cover though. It's 10 points. This could go either way. I might have to change my pick to Georgia -10, just the way Georgia's playing and how bad Tennessee is playing. But I just see there's no way Tennessee could win this. Georgia's just a much better team overall, head to toe. There's no way Tennessee could win this. Although I do think they will cover, and Georgia will move on to 11-0 for what does that be? The 3rd consecutive season. And the number 1 matchup for this week, number 5 Washington goes on the road to number 11 Oregon State. Corvallis, yeah, that's right. Corvallis, Oregon is where this matchup will be taking place. It's a night game at Corvallis, and Oregon State is actually a 2.5 point favorite over the 10-0 Washington Huskies. This shows you how deep and how just every week is a struggle for every Pac-12 team. Washington, Utah, Arizona, Oregon State, even Southern Cal with they have a terrible defense, but they're still a really tough out. Washington is 4-0 in Tier 1 games, which is actually the best besides Alabama, but Oregon State is still a really good quality opponent, and if I had to pick one, I think Oregon State's going to end Washington's undefeated season and get this one. I just think that Oregon State's a quality team at home, and they're really good against the spread. I mean, that bottom one there, 16-1 is a home favorite in the last 5 years. Washington's only been a road underdog 5 times, so that shows how good they've been doing. But Corvallis, man, at night, this is going to be an epic game for not only the conference, but the entire college football world. And I think the Beavers get it done and upset Washington and give them their first loss. And I think this will be one of the most surprising upsets of the entire college football season. What do you guys think? Do you think there's going to be any major upsets? Do you think Oregon State legit will upset Washington? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Who's going to be the most surprising team coming out of Week 12? Michigan just lost their head coach, Jim Harbaugh, for the rest of the season. They upheld their suspension. He will not coach against Maryland and will not coach against Ohio State. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments as well. Hit me up on Twitter, @thesportsnerd92, and follow me for all of the shorts posted throughout the weekend. I will have an instant reaction to anything I can, any sports news there is. But join me next week for the final week, Week 13 matchups, and should be a good one, guys. See you then.